A very good morning to all my dear students and all respected parents. Myself, Patel Manisha, welcomes you all on behalf of Srimati R.A.K.V.B School, Botad in this online teaching service. This is Standard 5th subject English Grammar, and in this English Grammar today we are going to learn Unit 4, and the topic of Unit 4 is sentences and clauses. In this we will learn or we will try to understand some of these subtopics that is already mentioned over here on the screen. You can see the topics that are what is clause, after that compound sentences, then we will try to learn complex sentences with the help of the examples. Then types of clauses. There are three types of clauses: noun clauses, relative clauses and adverbial clauses. We all will try to understand to learn these three types of clauses with the help of very good examples, and at the very last we will see compound with complex sentences. So let's begin. Before going to the chapter, I hope you all are fine at your place. My dear students, in the previous class, that is in the previous video, we learned Unit 3 sentences and its kind. We saw there are four types of sentences: declarative, imperative, interrogative and exclamatory sentences. So we are not going to repeat all these in this Unit 4. In Unit 4, we are going to try to learn or to understand regarding the clauses and the sentences but of compound and complex. So here we are going to start about the definition of the clause. What is clause? So pay attention over here because this is very important topic, and once we learn this topic or understand this topic, we will able to do our exercise and we will also able to learn the remaining topics that is given in your textbook. So let's start with the first subtopic, that is what is clause. In this we will try to understand the whole concept of the clause. For this, for your better understanding, I am keeping over here a video, so watch it out and try to get it. After then we will go ahead to the next one topic.
Hello friends, welcome to Free Grammar Lessons. Today we are going to dig deep into clauses and their types. So let's get started. So what is a clause? It is a group of related words. It has a subject and verb combination, and it has a complete meaning by itself. You can consider a simple sentence as a clause. For example, he plays cricket regularly. Now, is this a clause? For that, we will check whether it is satisfying all the three conditions that we just discussed. Is it a group of words? Yes, it is. Here, he is the subject, plays is the verb, so it has a subject-verb combination. And the whole sentence, he plays cricket regularly, makes complete meaning by itself. Hence, we can say it is a clause. Now, clauses are mainly divided into two parts based on their usage. It may be independent clause or dependent clause. An independent clause is actually a complete sentence by itself. It doesn't need any other clause for its existence. For example, you may sit. Here, you is the subject and sit is the verb, and the whole sentence is giving a complete thought by itself. So it's an independent clause. Then what is a dependent clause? It has a subject and a verb, but it doesn't have a complete thought by itself and is dependent on independent or main clause for a complete thought. For example, wherever you lie. Here, you is the subject and like is the verb, and the whole sentence is having a meaning as well, but it's incomplete. Now let's add a main clause to this clause. You may sit, and now the whole sentence becomes you may sit wherever you like. Now here the entire thought is complete with one main or independent clause and one dependent clause. This is all about dependent clause. Now dependent clause are mainly divided into three types: noun clause, adjective clause, and adverb clause.
Dear students, I hope you understood about clause. Clause is nothing but the name for a group of words which contains the predicate and a subject. Now come to the next one, that is compound sentences. For this we will also watch a video.
The sun is shining and everyone is happy. The sun is shining makes complete sense. Everyone is happy makes complete sense too. ये दोनों क्लॉज ही इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज है. सो ये किस तरह का सेंटेंस है? ये एक कंपाउंड सेंटेंस है. कंपाउंड सेंटेंस दो और उससे ज्यादा इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज से बना हुआ होता है. जैसे आई लाइक डॉग्स बट आई डोंट लाइक बुलडॉग्स. आई लाइक डॉग्स एक इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज है. आई डोंट लाइक बुलडॉग्स ये भी एक इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज है. एंड बट इज ए कंजंक्शन. हम दो इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज को एक कंजंक्शन से ऐड करके एक कंपाउंड सेंटेंस बनाते हैं. बट वन वार्निंग, कभी कभी हम कहते हैं द सन इज शाइनिंग एवरीवन इज हैप्पी. यहाँ पे कोई कंजंक्शन नहीं है. कंजंक्शन के जगह हमने सिर्फ एक कॉमा यूज किया है एंड ग्रामेटिकली दिस इज रॉन्ग. दो इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज को ज्वाइन करके कंपाउंड सेंटेंस बनाने के लिए कंजंक्शन यूज करना जरूरी है. रिमेंबर, फैन बॉयज, फॉर, एंड, नॉर, but, or, yet, so. Fanboys use this coordinate conjunction to join two independent clauses. I started early, I arrived late. But use करके ये दोनों independent clause को add कर सकते हैं. I started early, but I arrived late. He didn't win the match. He was happy. He didn't win the match, yet he was happy. Yet conjunction use करके हमने दो independent clause को join किया है. I will buy the book or I will borrow it from the public library. So यहाँ पे और एक conjunction है और use करके हमने दो independent clause को join किया है. I will buy the book or I will borrow it from the public library.
Have you seen a very easy trick to remember the coordinating conjunction? What is the easy trick? Yes, that is fanboys. So remember this. So it will help you out in doing the exercise. Okay, what an interesting video it was. My dear students, you have seen compound sentences. The definition of compound sentences you learned. See, compound sentences has two main clauses that we saw with the help of the video. The clauses in the compound sentences are joined by what? Yes, that is coordinating conjunction. Now here, what is coordinating conjunctions? Coordinating conjunctions are words such as, yes, tell me which are those words? Okay, such as and, but, or, last one is or, isn't it? That we all learned with the very good examples. Now come to the next subtopic, that is complex sentences.
Alex ate a burger. It is the independent clause. And while he was watching the movie. This is the dependent clause. Alex ate a burger. ये main clause है इस sentence में. और while he was watching the movie. ये वाला clause main clause के ऊपर dependent है. So ये subordinate clause है. और हम इस तरह के सेंटेंस को कहते हैं कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंस. सो कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंस में एक मेन क्लॉज होता है और एक सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज होता है जो मेन क्लॉज के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट होता है. आई नो ए मैन हु बॉट ए बोट. I know a man, ये independent clause है, और who bought a boat, ये subordinate clause है. I have a dog which is black. I have a dog, ये independent clause है या main clause है, which is black, ये subordinate clause है. I have a pen which is very expensive. I have a pen, ये main clause है, which is very expensive, ये main clause के ऊपर dependent है, so ये subordinate clause है. So हर complex sentence में एक independent clause रहता है और एक dependent clause रहता है, और dependent clause main clause के ऊपर dependent होता है.
Okay, have you watched the video? Yes, in this video we learn about the complex sentences. See, the type of sentence is complex. But my dear student, this is really not the complex sentences. Complex means होता है confusable, isn't it? But ये confuse वाले sentences नहीं है. It is very easy. Let me try to understand. See, if a sentence has a main clause here means yes, the independent clause जो दूसरे पे depend नहीं है, उसको बोलते हैं हम independent clause. वो आपने पहले देखा, उसी को हम another word में what we will call, that is main clause. And at least one subordinate clause means that is dependent clause जो दूसरे पर depend है. In another word we can say subordinate clause. So अगर sentence में एक main clause होता है, independent clause होता है, sorry, and at least one subordinate clause होता है जो दूसरे पर depend है, तो उसे हम बोलते हैं complex sentence. It consists both, that is independent and the dependent sentence. So इसमें हमने बहुत good example से समझा कि what is complex sentences. Complex sentences consist the words such as because, after, although, when, before, until, unless, and so many, and relative pronouns. With this relative pronouns we saw that who, which, and that. These linking words are called subordinating conjunctions. Okay, I hope you understood. After that, we are going to the next subtopic, that is type of clauses. So let's begin. There are 3 type of clauses. We will understand one by one. First we will see noun, after that relative clauses, then at the very last adverbial clauses. So let's begin with the noun clauses.
What is a noun clause? Noun clause is a group of words having subject and verb of its own, and it acts as a noun in the sentence. For example, I fear that I will fail. Here, that I will fail is a clause as it is a group of words having subject and a verb, and the whole clause is acting as an object of the verb fear. So it's a noun clause. Let's look into one more example of it. That you have come pleases me. Here, that you have come is a noun clause as it is acting as a subject of the verb pleases. So basically this clause does the work of noun. Now,
here is a list of common introductory words for noun clauses. How, that, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom, whomever, whose, why. Note, some of the words in this chart can also be used to introduce adjective clauses and adverb clauses.
Shall I check you out whether you are getting all this concept or not? Okay, for this we will play a quiz, okay, regarding this noun clauses. So are you ready for this? Let's begin. Students, this was really very easy subtopics as we watched in video. Don't you think so? But how could I come to know that you are getting each and every subtopics? ask you, did you enjoy this video? Obviously, yes, na, isn't it? I also enjoyed a lot. Check it out by yourself, whether you got 10 after 10 or how much you got. Fine. Now, let's go ahead to the second one, that is relatives clauses. Let's begin. We will watch a video.
Relative clauses 1. Who, that, which, where. In this video, you are going to learn the most common relative clauses and know which one you can use. Let's first start with an example so you can see what a relative clause is. A doctor is a person who helps people. We use the relative clause or pronoun to refer to something we are talking about. In this sentence, who refers to a doctor, a person. A plane is a machine that flies. In this sentence, that refers to a machine, a thing. The hotel where I am staying is very nice. In this sentence, where refers to a hotel, that is a place. So, in the relative clauses, we have to know if we are referring to a person, thing, place, or time. If we are referring to a person, we use who or that. If we are referring to a thing, we use which or that. If we are referring to a place, we use where. If we're referring to a time, we use when. Look at the examples. A thief is a person who steals things. This is the bus that goes to the airport. This is the restaurant where I have breakfast every day. Today is the day when we celebrate our anniversary.
I hope आपको थोड़ा बहुत तो समझ में आ ही रहा होगा. Is it or not? Yes. Okay. For this better understanding, I would like to keep a video. The video is about, yes, that we are learning right now. Relative clauses. Relative clauses song I am keeping over here. By watching this song, you will really, don't forget the pattern of the relative clause. How to learn the relatives clause.
Relative clause give us extra information. Relative clause tell us about the noun. Relative clause use a relative pronoun. Who, whose, that, which. The dog who smells lives at 22 Pineapple Road. My mum, who is evil, puts diamonds all over her face. The school gates that are blue keep naughty burglars away. Dr. Smelly, whose nose is massive, eats mainly Haribo straws. Relative clause give us extra information. Relative clause tell us about the noun. Relative clause use a relative pronoun. Who, whose, that, which. The princess whose heart is broken sat and cried in the great hall. The magical table that grants wishes cost £400,000. The teacher who hunts for glitter sits and cries into her cheese. My porridge that gives me energy is made from the tears of a duck. You need commas to protect the relative clause. A comma on each side of the relative clause. The sentence will make sense without the relative clause. But let's be honest, it makes the sentence better. Relative clause give us extra information. Relative clause tell us about the noun. Relative clause use a relative pronoun. Who, whose, that, which. Relative clause give us extra information.
Hey guys, क्या आपको ये सॉन्ग पसंद आया? Did you like? Yes? Okay. I like this song very much. And I am damn sure that if you will learn this song, you will never forget this relative clauses. Now we are on the very last clauses, that is adverbial clauses. For this again we are going to watch a video. So let's start to watch the video.
Most of the time we use adverb to modify verbs. To be more specific, adverbs describe something about an action like its place, time or manner, etc. Like Rita dances beautifully. How does she dance? Beautifully. So it is an adverb which is adding extra meaning to a verb. That is, it is modifying a verb. Sometimes a group of words act like an adverb and describes something about an action. Alex is never serious about his game. He acts like it is a joke. How does he act? See, this group of words acts like an adverb and modifies a verb. So, it is an adverbial clause. Adverbial clause or adverb clause is always a subordinate clause. Means it cannot stand alone on its own. No matter how many times I try to stop, I just can't give up chocolate because I love chocolate. Anyway, no matter how many times I try to stop what? Sounds incomplete. So, it is a subordinate clause which needs a main clause. It is an adverbial clause that modifies a verb, that is, add extra meaning to a verb. Just like any other clause, adverbial clause also contains a subject and a verb. When Rita returned, she found her brother very ill. When Rita returned, this is the adverbial clause. Subject, Rita. When is the subordinating conjunction, which links subordinate clause with the main clause. Look carefully. If a sentence starts with subordinating clause, we separate main clause and subordinate clause by comma. His dog ran away when he was in school. Look, subordinating conjunction is separating main clause and subordinate clause. So we don't need a comma. It is stating time of an action. Adverbial clause of time start with conjunctions like when, before, after, since, till, until, as long as, etc. If you starve yourself to lose weight, you soon regain it afterward. Adverbial clause of condition start with if, unless, etc. He said he was happy where he was. Adverbial clause of place start with subordinating conjunctions like where, wherever, anywhere, everywhere, etc. Look here, adverbial clause is modifying an adjective. Like normal adverb, adverbial clause also can modify adjective or another adverb. I couldn't be angry with her because she was right. See, the adverbial clause is indicating the reason of something. Adverbial clause beginning with because, as, since, given, etc. states reason for something. Whenever I quarrel with my best friend, I say, I'm smarter than you. This is an adverbial clause of degree or comparison. There is no verb in the clause. Sometimes the verb in an adverbial clause is omitted. It is understood but not present in the sentence. I am smarter than you are, but we don't write R. We say I am smarter than you. So R is omitted but it is understood. Look at the table. It contains different subordinating conjunction used in different adverbial clauses. And practice is the key. Adverbial clauses are very useful for indicating time, place, reason, purpose of something. To compare things, it is very important. So look at the table and practice. So that's all for now. We will go deeper in next lesson.
So here, this is our last but not the least subtopic. Now we will see compound and complex sentences. For this also, let's watch a video.
Compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence is composed of two independent clauses and one or more dependent clauses. Examples: I have 20 cousins, but I don't have any brothers or sisters since my parents are already old. The two independent clauses in the sentence are I have 20 cousins and I don't have any brothers or sisters. They are joined by the coordinating conjunction but. The dependent clause here is since my parents are already old. Another one, since the kids got high scores in the exam, we decided to go camping this weekend and they were very happy. The two independent clauses here are we decided to go camping this weekend and they were very happy. They are joined by the coordinating conjunction and. While our dependent clause is since the kids got high scores in the exam. Since here is our subordinating clause. The third one, I met an old friend today, but we haven't talked that long because we were both busy. The two independent clauses here are I met an old friend today and we haven't talked that long. They are joined by the conjunction but. Because we were both busy is our dependent clause. Because is our subordinating conjunction. For our exercise, make a compound complex sentence out of the given sentences. The first one, Robin found a sick squirrel. He took care of it, even though his mom didn't like it. What could be the correct compound complex sentence for this? The answer is Robin found a sick squirrel and, or you can also use so, he took care of it even though his mom didn't like it. The two independent clauses in this sentence are Robin found a sick squirrel and he took care of it even though his mom didn't like it is our dependent clause. The second one, I want to build a house that has the most number of rooms. I'll also invent a flying car. The answer is I want to build a house that has the most number of rooms and I'll also invent a flying car. I want to build a house, and I'll also invent a flying car are our independent clauses. That has the most number of rooms is our dependent clause. The third one, I have 20 dolls. I decided to give my best friend 2 before her family moved to another village. The correct answer is I have 20 dolls, so I decided to give my best friend 2 before her family moved to another village. I have 20 dolls and I decided to give my best friend 2 are our independent clauses. Before her family moved to another village is our dependent clause. The fourth one, I'm scared because Dad is not here. You need to come home. The correct answer is I'm scared because Dad is not here, so you need to come home. I'm scared and you need to come home are our independent clauses. Because Dad is not here is our dependent clause. And the last one, when I was 15, my parents separated. I stopped school. The correct answer is when I was 15, my parents separated, so I stopped school. When I was 15 is our dependent clause. My parents separated and I stopped school are our independent clauses. Since the dependent clause comes first in this sentence, we need to put comma after it. Did you get them right?
So my dear students, here the end of Unit 4. We will meet you in the next session, that is in the next class. Till then, have a nice time. Stay home, stay safe.